A terrified little boy burst into a diner, tears streaking through the dust on his face, screaming the words no child should ever say, "They're beating my mama." 8 bikers rose instantly, no hesitation, no questions. What they did next would shock an entire town and change 3 lives forever. Lucy's Diner sat quietly on Highway 95, the kind of place where truckers trusted the coffee and locals trusted the company. Saturday mornings were usually slow, peaceful, predictable. Sunlight shimmered off chrome napkin holders while the old jukebox hummed softly in the background. In the back corner, 8 men filled one long booth, the Thunder Knights Motorcycle Club. Leather vests, road-worn boots, tattoos, and deep voices that carried across the room. Tourists sometimes stiffened when they walked in, but locals relaxed. Lucy had served them for 15 years and always said, "You're safer with those boys in the room than with a whole police force outside." The Knights weren't outlaws. They were protectors. Quiet ones, but protectors nonetheless. Victor Kane, their calm and steady leader, was cutting into his pancakes when he felt it, an almost electric shift in the air. Conversations dipped for half a second, like the world inhaling before something heavy fell. He glanced toward the door, unaware that within seconds, breakfast would turn into a rescue mission none of them would ever forget. A terrified little boy burst into a diner, tears streaking through the dust on his face, screaming the words no child should ever say, "They're beating my mama." 8 bikers rose instantly, no hesitation, no questions. What they did next would shock an entire town and change 3 lives forever. Lucy's Diner sat quietly on Highway 95, the kind of place where truckers trusted the coffee and locals trusted the company. Saturday mornings were usually slow, peaceful, predictable. Sunlight shimmered off chrome napkin holders while the old jukebox hummed softly in the background. In the back corner, 8 men filled one long booth, the Thunder Knights Motorcycle Club. Leather vests, road-worn boots, tattoos, and deep voices that carried across the room. Tourists sometimes stiffened when they walked in, but locals relaxed. Lucy had served them for 15 years and always said, "You're safer with those boys in the room than with a whole police force outside." The Knights weren't outlaws. They were protectors. Quiet ones, but protectors nonetheless. Victor Kane, their calm and steady leader, was cutting into his pancakes when he felt it, an almost electric shift in the air. Conversations dipped for half a second, like the world inhaling before something heavy fell. He glanced toward the door, unaware that within seconds, breakfast would turn into a rescue mission none of them would ever forget. The door slammed open, crashing against the inside wall hard enough to rattle the rusted window frame. The small room smelled of sweat, alcohol, and cheap cigarettes. Rebecca Martinez lay on the floor, wedged between the bed and the wall. Blood dripped from her nose. Her eye was already swelling shut. She was gasping in pain, arms raised in a hopeless attempt to shield herself. Hovering over her was Marcus Webb, 6 feet of muscle, rage, and drunken fury. His fist was raised high, ready to strike again. "That's enough," Victor said, voice low and deadly calm. Marcus spun around, wild-eyed and snarling. "Who the hell are you? Get out. This is my woman. I'll do what I want." "Not today," Victor said. The other bikers filled the doorway behind him, shoulder to shoulder, blocking the only exit and any chance Marcus had of running. And suddenly, the room felt very, very small. Marcus puffed out his chest, fueled by alcohol and stupidity. "You think you scare me? I've been in prison. I fought dudes twice as tough as you." He lunged forward, swinging a sloppy but powerful punch at Victor's face. Very bad choice. Victor caught Marcus's fist mid-swing, twisted his arm. "Victor, what happened?" "Kid ran into Lucy's Diner crying for help," Victor replied evenly. "Said his mama was being beaten. We found Marcus doing exactly that." The sheriff nodded grimly. He'd dealt with Marcus Webb before. Too many times. Paramedics lifted Rebecca carefully onto a stretcher. Tyler refused to let go of her hand. The sheriff watched the scene with a heavy expression. "You want to press charges this time?" he asked gently. Rebecca hesitated, then looked at the wall of bikers who'd saved her life. Men she'd never even met. "Yes," she whispered. "For everything he's done." The sheriff turned to Marcus. "You're under arrest." Victor and 2 bikers visited the hospital later that evening. Rebecca lay in a small room, Tyler curled up beside her, both finally sleeping in peace for the first time in months. A nurse approached them. "She told me everything," she said with emotion. "That man's been terrorizing her for 8 months straight." Victor's jaw flexed. "She's safe now." When Rebecca woke up, she burst into tears, not from pain, but from fear. "He'll make bail," she whispered. "His brother owns a bail bonds company. He always makes bail. He'll find us." Victor sat beside her bed. "Not this time. And even if he gets out, he'll have to go through all of us first." She stared at him, confused. "Why? Why would you help us? You don't even know us." Victor glanced at Tyler sleeping peacefully. "Your boy had courage today," he said. "We don't walk away from that." That night, the Thunder Knights called an emergency meeting. 23 members packed the clubhouse, the air thick with tension. Victor stood. "Rebecca and Tyler need protection. Marcus will make bail. When he does, he'll look for them." Some members nodded immediately. Others hesitated. Spike, one of the younger bikers, raised a hand. "Vic, I feel for her, but we've got our own families. We can't protect the whole town." Victor's voice sharpened. "We're not protecting the whole town. We're protecting a woman who would have been killed today and a kid who ran to US for help when every other person in that diner sat frozen." Silence. He continued, "We answered his call once. We don't betray that trust." Axel, the club president and a Vietnam veteran, studied the room. The Knights had always lived by their code: protect the vulnerable, especially women and kids escaping abuse. "Motion passes," Axel said finally. "Full club protection. Victor, you're in charge." The room erupted with agreement. Rebecca and Tyler wouldn't face the world alone. By Monday, news stations replayed the diner's security footage. Tyler running in crying. Bikers standing instantly. The rescue at the motel. People who'd once judged the Thunder Knights for their intimidating appearance suddenly saw them for who they truly were: protectors. Lucy placed a donation jar on her counter with Tyler's crayon drawing taped to it. Within a week, the community raised $15,000, enough for rent, deposits, and furniture. The town rallied behind Rebecca and her son. And the Thunder Knights made sure everyone knew. If Marcus came near her again, he'd be met with 40 bikers. 4 days later, Marcus walked out of jail, smirking, confident, already planning revenge. But when he tried to find Rebecca, he hit walls everywhere. Her old apartment, empty. Her old job, she quit. Her new address, unlisted. Her new workplace, owned by a Thunder Knight. He filed a harassment complaint claiming the bikers threatened him. Sheriff Cruz read it and laughed. "You beat a woman in front of witnesses," the sheriff said. "These men stopped you. That's not harassment. That's called saving a life." Marcus realized he was outnumbered by the law, the town, and the bikers. He packed up and left the state, tail tucked. With Marcus gone, life slowly rebuilt itself. Rebecca got a job at Lucy's diner, where customers treated her like family. Lucy arranged shifts around Tyler's school schedule. Tyler started 2nd grade at a new school. On his first day, the Thunder Knights escorted him, not to intimidate, but to show the world. This child is protected. 8 motorcycles rumbled beside him like a shield. His classmates thought it was the coolest thing they'd ever seen. Tyler walked taller than he ever had before. 1 year later, Lucy's diner held a celebration. Rebecca stood before the crowd, voice steady for the first time in months. "A year ago, my son ran into this diner begging strangers for help," she said. "These men didn't hesitate. They saved us. They gave us a future." Tyler stepped forward holding a painted version of his original drawing. It showed 8 bikers circling a woman and child, shielding them from darkness. Across the top were the words, "Sometimes heroes ride Harleys." He handed it to Victor. "For your clubhouse," he said with a shy smile. "So you never forget what you did for us." The room erupted in applause. And the Thunder Knights knew. They had kept their code and saved a family.